It is Monday, which means it is time for another reading vlog week to begin. Funny enough, I usually like starting these reading vlogs on Sundays, but for some reason, I always end up taking a day off with reading vlogs on Sundays, so let's get right into it, because I have now finished One of Us Is Next. Man, did this book get better from the moment I left you guys all the way through to the end, that I'm giving this book an overwhelming 5 stars. So it is a multi-perspective book where we are following the perspectives of Phoebe, Maeve, and Knox. I have to think for a moment there. And the story revolves around them. They are high school students, and we have this cyber-stalking unknown antagonist who is playing a game of truth and dare with everyone at the high school. And so, among other things, we're trying to work out who is this unknown person, because they're just going by the name Unknown. And the reveal was so fantastic, and the book just got better and better after I left you guys. So, complete turnaround for me. Really happy I've read this book. Loved the perspective of Knox. He became my Noxy, he's my new Kelsia for the year. He really is, and I don't make that statement. Okay, so that says a lot right there. He's my new Kelsia. But this was just absolutely fantastic. 5 stars. If you loved One of Us Is Lying, I highly recommend this book. Let's discuss what my reading plan is for the remainder of this week. So I am actually much further ahead than I thought I would be by this point in time. I think I'm like 4 or 5 days ahead, but that's a good thing for me, because the first book that I'm reading in October is super duper long, so if I can get a head start on that one at the end of this month, that will make me happy. So in that case, we're going to plow ahead and not take any days off. The next book that I plan on reading is this book, We Are Totally Normal, by Naomi Kanakia. The book I'm picking up after We Are Totally Normal is my final buddy read of the month. It is a classic, and this month our classic is Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. And the final book, if I have time, if I'm going the way I'm going, I definitely will, but if I have time, is going to be the final book that I'm going to read in the Pretty Little Liars series, which is Wanted, book number 8 by Sarah Shepherd. I hope that you're having a great start to your week, and I'll see you again tomorrow. It is Wednesday, which means it's time for another reading vlog update. Just to update you guys, I did actually do a reading vlog yesterday, but for reasons that will become clearer as we go along with today's reading vlog, I have made the decision to remove that vlog from this week's reading vlog. We'll get into that in just a moment. First of all, you may have noticed no more blue. Yes, so a very quick update on my nails, because it's a reading vlog. This is the place to put it in. So, for the past year and a half, quite regularly, I've gone and gotten my nails done. I get what's called S&S in Australia, but it's actually in the US known as dip, which makes more sense because you're dipping into the nail solution. Anyway, I've been receiving that, and they recommend that every 4 to 5 weeks you get it replaced because of the new nail growth, which makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, due to COVID, this had not been possible. My nails were annoying me for so many reasons, including if I put my fingers through my hair, it would latch onto in between the new growth and the S&S of the nail. And also, I type a lot, so the typing was being affected. So I've removed them. I found a way to do that, and I'm thankful for it. But in case you're wondering, where are the blingy nails, Mr. Francy? Now you know where they're gone. Alright, now we're going to talk about the what I have been reading and why yesterday's vlog was removed. I have finished. Make sure that you look, because it's going to be gone as quickly as I show it to you. I have finished We Are Totally Normal by Naomi Kanakia. That is the last you're going to see of that book until the monthly wrap, and then you will not see this book again, and I'll quickly explain why. This book was the single most offensive book that I have ever read. It is marketed as a male LGBTIQ plus YA, and I completely disagree with the way that it was marketed, because It is definitely not a romance by any stretch of the imagination. It is a book that specifically is offensive to the LGBTIQ plus community, that includes a ton of manipulation where there is no redemption, and I have never ever in my life been so offended by a book. I've had qualms and issues with books in the past, of course I have, but that book has so much offended me that for the first, however long it's been, which is 8 months and 21 days, I had not given a book 1 star. This book is receiving 1 star from me. If I could give it 0, I would. If you want to see more of my complaints to do with this book, I gave a very extensive, thorough review over on my Goodreads. I have my Goodreads link in the description, so you can check that out there. But this is just a quick... I've read that book. It will be included in my monthly wrap because I don't believe in taking books off. I did read it, but it's not going to have a lot of time or a lot of focus in that monthly wrap. It's read, it received 1 star, and it greatly, it greatly annoyed me and it greatly offended me. So moving on, the next book that I plan on reading is book 8 in the Pretty Little Liars series, Wanted. It is Thursday, which means it is time to check in with you guys and let you know how I've been doing with this book, Wanted, book number 8 in the Pretty Little Liars series. This is, well, as far as my goal is concerned, the last book that I have set the goal to read in this series, and it will really determine if I decide to move on or not. At the moment, I'm thinking it's a possibility, which had you asked me that 3 days, 4 weeks, 2 months ago, I probably would have said you're crazy, but right now I'm enjoying this one. So I am there. We are. Yes, we're reading this together, everyone. Which is 98 pages in out of a total of 200 and about 60, I think. There are 2 pages that aren't numbered at the end, but they seem like they're a part of the book. So I'm going to say about 261, which means I'm over a third of the way there, which is fantastic. I have really enjoyed my read, as I was saying earlier. I think this book was so well placed and well timed as to where it was placed on my TBR. Being picked up, the next book that I picked up after that unnamed book that we shall no longer talk about outside of the monthly wrap. It's been a great way to bounce back. So, yesterday something happened where I live in Melbourne, Australia that has not occurred for, they're saying, hundreds of years. So, I mean, pretty big. We had an earthquake. And yeah, that's something that just doesn't happen. So I was literally reading this book when it occurred, and which made it even more of a trippy experience because you're reading a mystery YA thriller, I guess, if you will, and then to have that happen was a bit interesting. I'm okay. Everyone in my family is okay, in case you guys are wondering. But yeah, I was basically laying on my bed reading this book, and the next thing I knew, I felt like I was in a fun house, and the house was moving, and it felt like being on a teeter-totter in a way. They said that it registered at full capacity 6.0. That's where it originated, and I don't know what it was in my area, but it was pretty big. I've never experienced it in my life, obviously, because it's been hundreds of years since we've had one here, but there you go. They have reported that there might be some aftershocks that do occur, so we'll see how things go with that. I will keep you guys posted, but there you go. That's something pretty big. And if you're wondering about my books, they were fine. None of my books fell, which you might think during an earthquake that books will be the first to just fall out of the shelves. No, my books were fine, thank goodness. So they haven't moved, and I'm very proud of them for staying still. But that is where we are going to leave it for this rather interesting update. It's Friday. I have finished Wanted, which means I've closed out the first 2 eras of the Pretty Little Liars series. It has been an up and down journey for me with this series, and only one of the books had received 5 stars, which was perfect. It was rather perfect. But the others all received 4 stars. They were good, but they weren't anything fantastic. Hold the presses, this is the best one yet. And I came into this book thinking, finally, I'm going to be done with this series. My goal is just to read the first 2 eras, the first 8 books, and then I'm going to stop. And now I find myself thinking, maybe I should just pick up book number 9 and see how I go. Not have a goal, but just see how I go, because this book was amazing. But I am not done, my friends. I was in such a big reading mood yesterday that not only did I close out that book, but I also started my next book, which is the final Mr. Francy buddy read book of the month, our classic for this month being Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. I am currently there, which is, I have to go back a page, about 101, 102 pages in. The artistry in this book is just absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love these editions. As you can see, I have Beauty and the Beast there, and right in the edge of the frame here is the Secret Garden, and next to the Secret Garden here I have the Little Mermaid, the blue book. It is okay. Disney definitely took many creative liberties, and I'm only 100 pages in. So I'm very surprised at how many creative liberties they took. Very quickly, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has checked in with me to make sure that I was okay. Apparently, the earthquake that happened in Melbourne was the earthquake heard around the world. I have had people checking in with me and my family from all over Europe, as well as America and other areas as well. And I just want to say thank you. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for reaching out and just making sure that everyone was okay. We are okay. We're just waiting to see what's going to happen with aftershocks, because there have been reports that aftershocks will occur. Also, thank you to everyone who's been checking in with me owing to lockdown. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and we have been in lockdown for the most part for 2021. I know that a lot of the world were in lockdown through 2020. We were too, but we've also been in lockdown here in Melbourne, Australia for the majority of 2021. It hasn't been the easiest, let's be real, but, you know, we just have to get through it. That's all we can do. Apparently, we're going to get an update on the 2nd of October, so hopefully I can update you guys then to let you know if restrictions have been eased, if we're allowed to, you know, travel, and restrictions have been lifted, but I doubt that will be the case. We will see how we go, but I just wanted to say a very big thank you so much. It was so heartwarming to receive all of your wonderful check-in messages to make sure I was okay. So thank you very much for that. All right, I will check in with you guys again tomorrow to wrap up my reading week. It is Saturday, which means it's time to wrap up my reading vlog week. I have finished Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. This book was interesting. So I think on my Goodreads I said something along the lines of, this book was good. Not great, not fantastic, but good. And I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I'll explain why. After I finished reading the book, I did some research on Carlo Collodi, and his reasoning behind writing this book was because he was, at the time, Italy was going through their independence, and Carlo Collodi was really struggling with how things were going in Italy, and he was struggling between making the choice of doing what he wanted to do versus what everyone else wanted him to do. And so he decided to write Pinocchio, because Pinocchio deals with the same struggles. I appreciated that, and I actually upped my star rating owing to what I had found out subsequent to reading the book. So I gave the book 4 stars. Today, I picked up this book, Monster Blood, which is book number 3 in the Goosebumps series. This is a middle grade horror. I read this from cover to cover in one sitting. It's a short book. not hard to do. The premise of this book is that we are following a boy by the name of Evan. I had to think, and I've just finished reading the book. We're following a boy by the name of Evan. He goes out to a toy store. He buys a can of Monster Blood, which kind of reminds me of, do you guys remember Gak back in the day? That gacky, slimy stuff. He takes the Gak, the Monster Blood, home, and it grows overnight, and it continues to grow, which then leads to some disastrous consequences. I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed it enough to give it 3 stars. So let's go through and wrap up everything that I have read this week. The first book that I read this week was this book, One of Us is Next, by Karen M. McManus. I gave it 5 stars. And one of my new fictional boyfriends is in this book, Mr. Noxie. His name is actually Nox, but I call him Noxie. The next book that I read is the book that we don't display on the screen. It is outside of the screen though, and you'll hear a thud in a minute. There we go. It is called We Are Totally Normal by Naomi Kanakia, and that book got 1 star. The next book I picked up was this book, Wanted, book number 8 in the Pretty Little Liars series. This book received an overwhelming 5 stars. Then, as you guys know, I picked up Pinocchio. I've already told you my thoughts. I gave it 4 stars. And Monster Blood, 3 stars. And now for a very quick these. Do you like how I've censored this one? These are the books that I read during the course of this week. I hope you guys have been having an amazing week. Letting you guys go peace, blessings, and so much love. If you've made it this far, leave some love hearts in the comment section below. Letting you go peace, blessings, and so much love. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mwah! Happy reading!